Hello, and welcome to Inconceivable. I'm William.
I'm Wesley.
I'm Kyle.
And this is podcasting.
Yeah. what was the story behind that again? Like,
we were downstairs, Kyle and I, and he's just like, "No, this is podcasting." And I was like, "We've never used that before." And he's like, "Are you serious?" Like, it's perfect.
yeah, it's
I love them prequel memes, so...
Yeah. Like,
prequel memes.
the prequel gave us prequel memes, and that's why we love the prequels.
Yup.
Like,
so true.
Yup.
So, even though we're not talking about Star Wars today, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, usually we try to make it related, but this is not related. We just wanted to say it.
We just need to take advantage of that.
Because it is the 30th episode.
Hey, I was going to bring it up. So, not 30th episode of Season 2, but 30th episode overall.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty awesome. We're going to hit 1 year in a few months. That's weird to think about.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start thinking about what we do during such an occasion.
we scrubs have been doing this for...
It makes sense, like, oh man, like this is a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're past the thing of, oh, this is not a phase, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope you like us.
This is
Stick
real,
around.
yo.
Yeah. I'll just start off. Kyle's and Wesley's topics are going to be kind of related, so I'll keep them together.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I don't even know what
So I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. Sometimes I like to branch out. Like one time I talked about vines. Today I want to talk about phones, specifically because Wesley is working on getting a new phone.
I got a dumb phone, guys.
And if you can't see it because you're watching or listening,
listening,
it's one of those slide phones that has the full text keyboard.
It's literally like, go ahead.
Hold on. Ready?
Yeah,
that slide.
Did you hear that? That was me getting my man card revoked.
I don't know, I'm kind of jealous of you. I remember back in the day, I rocked the Crazer. Remember the Crazer?
Yeah.
I love that guy. It was like a switchblade. I felt so cool flipping that open, flipping it closed. Yeah.
And then you had the Razor that was the classic whip it open.
Yeah.
Hello, yes.
Yeah. But no,
I'm sorry, I have a call.
I kind of wanted to be a little like disconnected from like all the buzz of the internet, so I was like, I'm gonna get a dumb phone again and actually talk to people. But it is way too hard to live life now without a smartphone. It's ridiculous.
We were just having lunch, and then like, yo, Kyle, can you Venmo me the money? He's like, sure. Instantly money.
Boom.
He's like, I don't have cash on me. He's like, well, you're gonna have to pay me later, dude.
Yeah. Like, have you ever used PayPal? I totally sounded like a grandpa. Like, I was like, what's PayPal?
You asked if it was an app.
Yeah.
I was like, is it an app? Does it have one of those newfangled applications I'm hearing about on these devices?
That's sad though, because like, a lot of the older generations actually now transitioning to using technology, so they're already ahead of the game than you are, dude.
Yeah. I know, it's kind of sad.
We're in a sweet spot where I feel like we grew up with technology, so we're used to it, but we're not as dependent on it as like the next generation.
Because I still remember a time when I didn't have internet.
Right, and we don't have to like you could take the time to like go to a flip phone and kind of reappreciate where you came from.
Yeah.
Where kids now, sorry, blanket statement here, probably couldn't. You know?
Yeah, they don't know life without it. Period.
Because they have like smartphones and devices.
You
and
gosh
like
darn
8.
millennials.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're millennials too.
I'm a millennial too. Yeah. I fully embrace.
It's such a wide
we're the
gap
ones.
for millennials. I don't know if I agree with the fact that it should be all bundled as one.
Well, like, so you have kids now. So, like, my brother was born in 2000, and he's just barely a millennial, because I'm pretty sure that 2001, from there on, they're not millennials anymore. They're Generation Z.
I'd rather consider by decades rather than, like...
Yeah.
See, I like to make it a game where I'm like, if you don't know what the original Poke Rap was, you're not a millennial.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's my rule.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
What would be your rule, Will?
That's a good question.
You get one. You get one.
One rule.
Yeah, same with
okay.
US. You get one. Yeah.
rule.
You can't use mine again. Like, you're a millennial if X.
If X.
Yeah. What is X? Find X.
Probably if you know who NSYNC is.
That's a good one.
True.
Yeah.
That's Wes's. All right.
True.
Yeah.
Dang it. You took a good... I was just thinking like something...
I mean, I was
90s.
more of a Backstreet Boy fan, but I respect that. I respect that.
Oh. If you remember using a Game Boy with an accessory light.
Ooh, that killed my battery, but it was worth it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much longer before the SP came out, but I remember that.
A superior Game Boy.
If you were old enough in a time where screens weren't backlit...
That's a good one. Yeah, that was a pain. That was real life.
Killed your battery.
Yeah. It came down like an angler, like an angler fish.
Yes,
just
it
like
does,
the light. Yeah, like the bendy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it totally reminded me. Mine was like that, like translucent purple.
I remember.
Too.
Yeah, I remember yours.
Anyway, not to get too off topic, but you were talking about phones.
Phones. So real quick, you've got a dumb phone. What phone do you have?
I have the Pixel 1.
Pixel 1.
I'm getting a Pixel 2 when I switch. So
yeah. I have a Droid Moto
you have a Moto
Force is what it's called.
Moto Force?
Yeah, Moto
Okay.
Force.
The Moto series is really good right now.
Yeah, Moto's great, and then they have the
Wait, it's called the Moto Force.
yeah.
That sounds like a Super Sentai Power Ranger. Like,
I know,
Moto
right?
Force!
Well, 'cause- I love it.
Yeah.
Because then that's their top of the line one, and then the slightly lesser one is the Moto Play. But both the Play and the Force has these Moto mods, which you can't see the example, but it's these attachments that magnetically go right on the back.
They built
of-
these phones for William.
I remember.
It's like William. This is totally a William
more
thing.
phone SMR, right?
Phone SMR.
That's the magnet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, it's just kind of like.
Oh wait.
Like,
Hold on. I'm gonna turn mine off of the sound of things, so you can hear the cool sound it makes when it connects, when it senses that there's a mod. Hold on. I gotta make sure that the volume's actually up.
Oh my god.
but like, it's totally like okay. So no offense, but William is like really into like
I love-
the new gimmicks that have potential, and it didn't do it. There's
What?
no noise. Oh, there
There
it
it
is.
is.
Okay, yeah.
It was lagging
But,
a little bit.
So yeah, so no offense, but that is totally a William thing to be like really into like something new and gimmicky that might have potential. These
Right.
things are actually really cool though.
Yeah.
like they work.
Because the thing is that this is Moto mod. This is a battery one, the one I have, and this one I have on 95% of the time. If you're wondering what this little guy here is, that's just a magnetic thing for my car mount.
Yeah, which is also really cool.
Yeah. But basically, they have all these things different attachments that just magnetically hook to the back of your thing. It doesn't involve Bluetooth or anything.
Which one is that? Is that the battery pack?
This is the battery
Okay.
one. And it's so awesome because you just slap it on and it's already recognized. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do anything else. There's no edit settings.
Before you keep going, Moto, sponsor us.
Hashtag
this
not
is-
sponsored. Not yet
So-
sponsored.
Hashtag not yet sponsored.
So you slap the roof of your phone, and this bad boy can fit so many mods in it.
yeah, that's my favorite meme right now. It's so good.
Yeah, that's amazing. This bad boy has so much battery life in it.
Yeah.
I am a slave to the memes. It's
I
all
am
it's
too.
all-
So
yeah,
good.
Love that meme, but continue with.
No, that's a worthy
Interruption.
Interruption.
There you go.
Wow.
William also has trouble with words.
But yeah, so the other one I have is a speaker one, which is awesome. So just
Yeah.
like instant speeder mod, like
Speeder mod? He has
messed
trouble
me
with
up now.
words.
Now
I'm
that's
saying it
pod
is-
racing.
Now that is pod racing. Yeah. Yeah.
A speeder. Ooh.
Ooh. So yeah, but so like this battery one, what I love about it is that this just makes your phone like just like kind of like a thicker phone, but it's still like a
It's a
normal.
thick boy now.
Yeah.
How many,
It's not-
how many C's, Will?
But it's still totally like a normal, like it's not outrageously big or anything like that.
Yeah.
Totally fits into all your pockets still, and it
It's like the
doubles.
thickness of mine.
Yeah,
now.
it doubles the life, and so I never have to worry about battery
like-
life for the
yeah.
entire. And
It's like you've
so-
collected a heart in Zelda.
Yeah. So it's so awesome, and then the speaker one's also pretty good, and that one comes with a kickstand too.
Yeah.
So it also allows you to prop your phone up, and sometimes I'll have on the speaker mod just for the kickstand because I want to watch a
I
video.
mean, it's why I got this case because it has that kickstand. So
Yo,
It's my
so.
first smartphone fit case.
So
that
I love
makes
that, and then
sense.
another feature that this phone has, not related to the mods I love, is that it has a unbreakable screen. And you're wondering, how is that even possible? That's probably like Astrat. Like, no,
Just like
you
Bruce
can't.
Willis.
You will break the phone before you break the screen because it's made mostly with plastic particles. So like a special kind of plastic. It's not like you think like, oh, plastic, that sounds cheap. Like, no, this is a specially crafted kind of plastic.
Plastics are a real industry, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're not talking about the Mean Girls.
no. Nope.
So yeah, this guy, you can watch videos of it. Like literally, you will break the phone before you break the screen. Like you
That's
have to do some crazy
So
stuff.
which
to
one
it.
of that is it again? It's the Moto Force. Where does the Moto 4 fit in with this?
The Moto 4?
Yeah, the Moto 4. That's their flagship phone.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. This is their flagship
Fact
phone.
check me, dude.
This is the original iteration. They have the second one, and then the third one coming out later this year.
It's the Moto 5.
No.
You can fact check me. I know.
As someone who's
'Cause I was
on
looking
Moto
at 'em the other
phones,
day.
because even before this, I had a Moto, some other phone before
Okay.
Google bought them. But
'Cause
I've had Motorola's for a while now.
Before I went to this dumb phone, I had a Moto G4 Play, I think.
I think you're talking about the flagship phones that Walmart carries.
No, go on their website. Moto has them by number.
But yeah, Will. Well,
I was like, okay. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about is just like, so this guy's going to be due for an upgrade at the end of the year.
Yep.
I have 3 phones that I'm really looking at. You mentioned the Pixel. by the end of the year, we'll have a Pixel 3. I'm watching to see what they do with that one.
Yep.
I don't know what else they'll do from here, because they made a lot of improvements with the second one, but for the third one, I don't know where they go from here. I think that's their time to innovate, where they come out with stuff that we didn't know we wanted, that now we have kind of stuff. Because Google's been trying to get in this phone business for a while now.
Yeah, I've been doing phone research because I wanted to get... It'll actually be the first flagship phone that I've ever owned. I usually get those, like, $100 ones that last for, like, a year or whatever, because I'm
really?
cheap. Yeah.
Wow.
But, what I learned is that the Google Pixel 2 is actually, like, the cheapest flagship phone on the market that has, like, the best specs.
How much is it?
You can get it on... You can get a brand new one on eBay for $430.
It's probably on the lower internal memory size, like what,
64.
Is it
64.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
you can buy that same phone from Google for like $600. They're on sale right now, actually. So
Meanwhile, Apple's like $1,000, Joe, starting.
yeah,
I should preface that, like, I'm not an Apple fan. I've always
None of us are.
no, I'm not either.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
the iPhone SE, still one of the best phones out there, even if you're not.
it has some good phones, but the 10 is just not worth. When you compare it money wise, it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
Like,
I watched. I was watching that really famous YouTube guy with you.
Unbox Theory.
No, the like original like. He's got like the crazy hair and he lives in New York. And,
Casey Neistat.
yeah, that guy.
Casey Neistat.
He
Okay.
was doing, what was it? He was doing a phone comparison with the iPhone 10. He's like, it's really cool, but sometimes the face thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or what was it?
I don't like the Face ID at all.
Yeah.
Look, the touch thing, that's the pinnacle of like logging into your phone, because it's instant. You can
Yeah.
have it unlock as you're pulling up to your face. Like, you don't even need...
Because didn't he say even after it recognizes your face, you have to wait a couple seconds and then it unlocks
Yeah.
or something like that?
Oh, I remember this story. It's like pretty funny, and it's gonna be a little bit racist here. But there was a Chinese worker working at the factory where they made the phones, I guess, and then her coworker was able to unlock the phone using the other coworker's face.
Yo, because I've heard of like twins being able to lock each other's phone, but
Yeah.
that's...
Yep.
Yikes.
So I guess they need to calibrate it more.
That's,
but I
that's,
found
not
that funny.
you, that's not you being racist, that's Apple being racist.
That's just, I found it just funny.
Well, they all look the same anyway,
Yeah,
so...
Whoa, okay, no, that was a little
That's
bit
what
racist.
Apple's thinking.
Well, you didn't preface that first.
I hope
Are you
no
kidding
one-
me, Cat?
I hope no one downloads this and starts, like editing what you just said to
out of context.
So. Cool. But yeah,
Wesley from Geek Kind, mass racist.
Like they care enough about me to say it.
Quote unquote, all Asians are the same.
but yeah, that was a fun story. But yeah.
So yeah, and we're not a big fan of the 10, so we'll just push that aside as far as we
Yeah.
can.
I'm not a fan of spending a lot of money on a phone anyway.
I mean, what's
So-
your budget here?
My budget is like $500.
That's a lot of money still.
It will, but that's me knowing I want a flagship phone,
Yeah.
and so like that's still on the lower end of flagship phones because they're all in like the 800 range now.
And one that people commonly refer to as like a top of the line phone that's budget is the OnePlus series of
yeah,
phones.
but there are still some issues with those.
There's still some issues, but they're trying to be a flagship phone on a more budget price. So they do cut some corners,
Yeah.
but a lot of people swear by those phones. I don't know a lot about them personally, so I can't speak much on their half. The other two I wanted to talk about, those are ones I have done a lot of research on. So we have the Pixel 2 coming out at the end of the year.
Pixel 3 coming out. Yeah.
Sorry, Pixel 3, thank you. We got the next version of this guy coming out, I think this summer. And then we also have the Razr 2 phone coming around sometime towards the end
That's
of the year
not
as well.
a flip phone.
Not a flip. No, not Motorola Razr, like Razr the gaming company. Because if you didn't know,
really? They're coming out with a phone?
well,
Yeah.
let me tell you. So their phone that they put out, which was last year, by the way, you're behind the times
I didn't
here,
know
dude.
that.
They're focusing on making it as ironic as it seems, the gaming phone. As much people say like phone gaming is a game. It's like okay, but the thing is that when you make a phone for gaming, it's naturally going to be at so many good things. So like if you have a gaming computer, it's naturally going to be good at a lot of things because gaming is like the most demanding thing you can do
Yeah,
on a
so
computer.
your phone's gonna be like it's gonna be
Right.
really good.
So things that they have done different right from the get-go. They have 2 front-facing stereo speakers on your phone. The sound quality is the best native sound you can get on any phone on the market. They have I think it's a 4,000 milliamp battery, which is one of the biggest size batteries on the market. Lasts for a really long time.
Is this the one that's already out or one that's coming out?
Well, that's already out.
Okay.
We don't know many specs
Alright.
about the new one that's coming out. And then their screen has a higher refresh rate. In fact, I think it's it's twice the speed of your normal refresh rate on the phone. If you don't know what a refresh rate, you'll see it mostly commonly referred to with gaming monitors. Basically, your monitor is constantly refreshing how many times it's updating the picture that you see on the screen, which usually is like a crazy amount per second. But so if you have like a certain amount of frames per your footage, it caps at a certain point because your monitor can only show a certain amount of frames per second. So you get a higher one, then that becomes even smoother. So if you have a game running at like 120 frames per second, not all monitors.
It looks like real life, probably.
Yeah, I know. I think 120 is the cap for when things start becoming like you can't tell the difference beyond that point.
Yeah.
But anyways, most your normal monitor won't be able to show that as cleanly as a higher refresh rate monitor will.
How much does this phone cost?
Razer phone.
Yeah.
I think it came out around $600. That's what I want to say. Could be wrong, but it's around that. It's a little bit on that cheaper place. So,
yeah, I might look it up.
The reason why I'm really interested in the second one because they did have some downfalls. So Razer bought a phone company that allowed them to do this, to have the missing pieces for hardware to do this. And some of the things that aren't great, their camera isn't the best. Some of their buttons on their phone are kind of cheap. Okay. And so little things that they're easily fixable though. And so that's why I'm really excited for the second one because I feel like the second iteration of product always has the most amount of improvements when you're going from iteration to iteration.
Arguable because I don't like the Pixel 2 because it lacks that earphone jack.
But you also said that if you didn't need that, it was like
if you're not a person if you're a person who always uses Bluetooth, then there's no reason for you. But for me, I love my headphone jacks.
I do too because two things is that one, the audio quality is better, and two, just the price for hardware is so much cheaper.
I actually would argue that about the audio quality.
No, it's a fact. It's less quality through Bluetooth than it is through live.
I must have some really good Bluetooth.
You can have good ones, but I think what's most notable to me is in the car. When you have Bluetooth versus the car during an aux, you can tell the difference.
I didn't plan on using it in the car anyway. I'm still a CD guy.
That's fair.
No, but Will's... I can't believe saying this, but Will's right. From a technical standpoint, in terms of, I don't know how much of an audio guru there are, but in terms of the data sent, in terms of data quality, auxiliary, it's like the difference between Ethernet port in terms of internet speed as opposed to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like no, I get that.
So you can tell the difference, but it's not major. But there is a difference. Right. So on a speaker quality like your car, if you have good speakers in your car, you can tell the difference. And it's not crazy, but you can tell the difference.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know how much of a big audiophile you are. That's all right.
Another thing
I'm a pretty big audiophile. That's why I'm surprised I didn't know.
Another thing,
really
especially that's great for me in podcasts when listening to the car, is that your volume doesn't go as loud with Bluetooth as it does with an aux. And sometimes with some podcasts, depending on what traffic you have around here, you really need to crank it up to really understand fully what they're saying. And sometimes the Bluetooth just doesn't always cut it. You know, you miss certain sentences and whatnot.
I suppose I should put a plug in then because
pun intended.
Maybe, yeah. Well, because is it UBL that has like the speakers and stuff? Like your brother has a speaker. JBL is really good because I have their wireless sports earbuds. They're so good, and I'm a big like heavy metal fan, and it's really hard to find headphones and earpods that like they can get the middle sound right, so it doesn't just sound like gurgled all the time. These are pretty good.
Everyone's focused on that bass.
Yeah, I know everybody's focused on the bass, but for metal people, it's like the middle. It's like the middle sounds that you need. So
because that's where the majority of stuff is.
Yeah.
So. And with metal, you have a lot of competing instruments because it's all like
sometimes. Yeah.
So. And then then we have the Pixel 3, and like I said, we don't know what the innovation is going to be like for that. And then we have the third guy of this one, which the thing that makes me hard that I want to switch because I would love to support Razer's venture in becoming a competitor for Google, Samsung, and Apple. I'd love to throw another company in there in the ranks there, and I love what they're innovating. Like, they're doing different stuff. You know, their new refresh rate really allows you to show the innovations of the processors because they talk about phones always having better processors year after year, but you'd never really notice it because the thing is that's always more noticeable is the fact that you have a new phone that hasn't been used and clogged up with data. So obviously it's going to seem faster because you have a fresh phone. It's like getting a new computer. Even if it's the same stats, it's going to seem faster because you don't have so much crap on it. So
same stats, I like that.
But with this, it actually utilizes the processor because there's some beefy processors in these flagship phones, better than a lot of your like $300 to $400 laptops that you'll see. So the new refresh rate that Razer is now implementing on phones, which has never been implemented on phones before, by the way. They were the first to do it, and now some companies are starting to do it. It really shows how fast the processor is. Especially with the touchscreens, it seems way more responsive. What the heck?
What are you watching, Will?
Freaking Kitchen Nightmares went on my phone for some reason.
What?
I've been on a Kitchen Nightmares binge
I don't know.
recently.
Shout outs to Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag not yet sponsored.
But you know what? That's great. But like Wes, if you are really considering budget, you have to think about what kind of phone do you want and what tasks do you need to do. For me, my old phone couldn't even run Pokemon Go, and that's all I wanted.
That would make me sad.
That's all I was like. I just want to play Pokemon Go. I'm like, well, the Pixel 2 or Pixel at the time, Pixel was new. Like, Pixel can do that, and then more. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I'll justify spending this amount of money because this phone, I fully intend to have this phone until I die.
Really?
Yeah.
The Pixel one's that good?
I think because it does what I want it to do.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking for a phone that has enough memory where I don't have to worry about it ever running out of memory.
Yep.
What do you have on there?
It's like 128 gigs.
Wow.
I should say, nice
What was
thing
the
about
price tag on
the
that?
Google phones that Google has put in is that they give you unlimited cloud picture storage
Yeah.
when
Wow,
you have
okay.
a Pixel.
How's the camera on that?
It's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
Pixel has I think the consensus is, it's tight and it's argued, but I think the consensus is that the Pixels have the best camera phones on the market currently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but I think that people tend
it's good enough for me.
Does it ever slow down
No.
much? No. And you can run Google. You can run Pokemon Go, and
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I just what was the
You're not
price
used to
tag on
flagship.
it?
You've never had a flagship phone.
I've never had. So,
So,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm like worried. I'm worried that it's going to be unreliable.
Like
Is
I
that
said,
not something
like
I have to worry about?
the budget you set,
Uh-huh.
you're able to get a Pixel.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Wow.
with it. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll just do that.
And I'll kind of finish off with this. That's why I always say it's worth the extra money that you put on a flagship phone, because if you're someone like me who uses the phone, I'm a big fan of investing more money with the use of stuff that you're doing. So like, I'm using my phone every day. I should invest more money in it, and having a more dependable phone, making it like a flagship phone, is worth the extra
Yeah.
few hundred that you'll put into it.
Future proofing it. Yeah.
I'm that kind of person that I don't like plans on anything. William gives me crap about this, but like I like to like fully like buy things, like just outright buy things. So it's tough for me because I want a phone that I don't have to worry about all the time.
Yeah.
But
And that's the nice thing about
yeah.
a flagship phone.
Okay.
Cool.
I will look into that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's that look for? You're
No, I'm just like, yeah.
That's the transition look for your next topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can do that.
I will flip. Oh wait, I'll flip it over now.
Yeah.
Gary the time
I
god.
forgot his name. Gary. Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
So I'm going to talk about why I'm not an anime fan.
Oof.
Dun dun dun.
People are
Heresy.
triggered.
Yeah.
Where's the trigger warning?
I know. And like,
Heresy.
I never thought I would feel like the one out of place for not liking anime, but like so many of my friends like anime now. I'm just like,
it's what's
I'm the
popular
odd
right
one
now.
out. Yeah. I mean, like, and I'm not counting things like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Those are animes, but those are so like mainstream now. I feel like most people just like them and know about them. Because I like Dragon Ball Z and I like Pokemon and I even like Death Note. Like, Death Note is probably my favorite anime.
My favorite anime as well.
Yeah, considering that I am not an anime fan. And then like here and there will be one that's interesting, but honestly probably everybody's watching it if I'm watching it, because I'm not a big anime person. So I think I'm more interested to hear why you guys like anime more so than me to just be like, I don't like anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I asked Kyle before we started like what his top 5 were.
So for me, I'll go first because my thing is much more quick than yours will probably be. Because Kyle is our anime guru. If you're not familiar with Kyle,
That's his way of saying I'm a giant weeb.
Kyle the Weeb on.
but
today
for
was-
me, you mentioned Dragon Ball Z and
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff like that. That's the anime I find unappealing, and I was
Okay.
like, I'm not into that. That's just
Yeah.
not for me. And for a while,
I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh. We'll just get
okay,
that straight out
for a
there.
while,
Heresy.
I thought that was all anime. When anime is
Okay.
not a genre, it's an art form. It's just
Yeah.
Japanese cartoons.
Mhm.
So that's like saying all American cartoons are a genre. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No. So then I found Death Note, and that really introduced me to the really drama and plot-driven animes that exist out there. And that one, as soon as I watched that, I was hooked. I binged that in less than a week, like in 3 days. I finished the entire thing. It was so freaking
That's
good.
it. Less than a week. Wow. Amateur.
I was not one with the binge at the time.
But like, so I know that I'm actually not an anime fan and not just like ignorant, because I've watched some of like the ones that everybody swears by and I'm just not interested.
Right.
Like I tried to watch Full Metal Alchemist. I couldn't.
Original or Brotherhood?
Brotherhood.
Okay.
And the original a little bit, but I know like people recommended Brotherhood. I just couldn't get into it.
That's the more complete story.
Attack on Titan. I know it's losing faith of people lately, but it's still really popular. Even the first season was only mildly interesting to me. Like only
that's the one that people swear by is the first season.
It's cool. Like I was really hooked for like the first couple episodes, but then after that, it was only like certain like high points that I was like, whoa, like I don't know. So,
real quick to cap off mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Death Note kicked off like anime can also have these crazy, amazing, really intense stories. And that's what I love about anime is these stories that we just don't find from American makers, you know?
Yep.
And so I really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the show Erased a lot as well.
Did we watch the live action of that one? What was one that we watched the live action one of?
There was Death Note, but then Erased also actually has a live action one. Full Metal Alchemist has a live action one as well.
Bleach is having one as well soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a clean product.
Fair warning. I've only seen about a dozen animes, but I'm pretty picky about which ones I've done, and they're all like plots. So like I also really love Soul Eater. Big fan
I've
of that
seen
one.
you guys watch that one a little bit.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
And what other ones? I'm a huge fan of My Hero Academia, even though that's like the anime, and I want to like be against it, but it's just too pure and wholesome. It's such a good anime.
Quick question: who wins? You can answer two: Goku or All Might.
I think it's gonna be Goku.
Yeah.
All Might actually has a cap. As far as we know, Yu-Gi-Oh just keeps.
I'm gonna say neither. I'm gonna say Sailor Moon.
Oh,
Sailor Moon. Is that on your top 5?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right.
But yeah, so that's all I have to
say. Just for the memes.
I appreciate the story and plot drivenness of anime, and that's what I like. I'm not a huge fan of all anime. I'm a fan of the anime that I like to watch because it's not a genre. Again, it's an art form.
Yeah.
So
like, and one of my things actually about anime is I'm not as appreciative of the art of it as a lot of people who watch it are. I'm not really a big fan of like the super like emotional like the how emotive it is, I guess.
I love that, off. And I will disagree. I like those things and how they use animation to express emotions differently and that's why anime has such a hard time with live action, because they can't really pull that off in a way that doesn't seem corny or cheesy. You have talked about arguments over whether Ruby, an American-based essentially
That's
anime.
another one I like. Ruby. I love Ruby. Okay.
It's if you haven't heard of Ruby, it's
it's amazing.
It's a show made by Rooster Teeth that's very anime inspired and aims to be a very anime-like show. However, is made in America, making a heavy debate of whether it's actually anime or not.
It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender in that respect. Where
Ruby makes a better case.
Yeah.
Last Airbender was never trying to be anime.
No, it was just done in like an anime kind of style.
Shoutouts to my panel. Ruby is an anime,
and that's what I was getting to. Is like you've talked a lot about the fundamentals of anime and what makes anime. And would you like to go into?
We're still on Wesley's topic right now.
No,
I'm going to flesh out his point.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Go for it.
Is that what your topic is after this?
No.
I don't even know it.
I just want you to. Gary's still going, dude. Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay. So, where was I? No, it's like the art. I'm not like super big into. I guess I'm trying to think because and I don't know. They just don't like overall. They just don't grab me. And sometimes like I'm still like a little weary of that stigma of like anime is perverted, even though like there is that kind of stuff in every medium.
Yeah.
In every medium. But come on, it's it's real. Like there's a stigma against anime for being like that.
And I've met and talked to people who consider that all of anime, which is
not
disgraceful.
True. You got to be fair. I mean, you have to be fair.
Because you know Pokemon, you know Yu-Gi-Oh, you know Dragon Ball, you know that isn't anything of that category. And yet people say it's like, oh, like I've had people where I'm talking about anime and they'll quote unquote correct me. So like, oh, so hentai. It's like, no. Anime, like that's it gets me so angry.
Yeah, that's being unfair about it. But still, like sometimes still like even in ones that aren't all about that, they still have elements of it. And I just even in like non-anime, I try to avoid that stuff, that kind of stuff. So
and that's its own section. And that's for its own group of people. And there's people who enjoy that. And there's people who don't. And when I think about anime, I think about again, how it's an art form, not a genre, and how not every anime fan is going to enjoy the same parts of anime. You know, some people will enjoy more plot driven. Some will appreciate more action based stuff. Like a lot of original anime, there was also a lot of like magical girl animes, like Sailor Moon and things like that. That's a whole genre within anime there. Like anime has just as much genres as they are genres for like traditional movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I guess Wes, for me to really, because I'm trying to develop my rebuttal right now, and I guess I don't think it's fair to label your stance as I'm not an anime fan. You clearly like a lot of anime.
Okay.
I just think you need to refine your question a bit so I have a better idea what your point of argument is. So saying you don't like anime, I don't think it's true, because you said you listed a lot of things you did enjoy. You said you like Death Note. That's like one of the many animes I recommend to people who have never experienced anime before.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the anime of our generation, because it's brought in so many people to anime, including myself.
I guess what I'm saying is, if I do like an anime, it's for things other than the fact of what defines an anime, I guess.
That's a can of worms, because that also isn't fair, because as Will alluded to, and I guess a spoiler to my Ruby is an anime panel, is that anime is such a huge media and art form, as you put it, that it isn't fair to shoehorn it into some kind of Webster dictionary thing.
Okay.
Where that's why my panel I open with, I do not take the Webster definition of anime, which is animation made in Japan, as the end-all be-all definition or defining of anime.
Okay.
Because it's super hard to define what anime is.
What's your definition of anime?
Anime is, and this is sound like a cop-out because it absolutely is, but anime is something that each particular person has his own definition of. So for me, and this is actually playing into the hentai part, is I consider it animation or anime to be anime if it has a beach episode.
No, that's not wrong, I guess.
Therefore, Ruby is not an anime to me.
It doesn't have a beach episode?
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, no kidding.
Yep. So I'm Rooster Teeth, please.
Now, it's funny, like, because you said in the panel that it's all different. Like, to us, that's kind of weird. It's like, why would you like why is that's such a quintessential thing? But for the culture of Japan, that's like it's expected.
Well,
you know.
So if like for you, if the definition of anime is so subjective, then I guess at least the way I would define anime, which I'm actually not prepared to give a definition.
It's hard,
but like the way that I see anime, then if that's an acceptable definition, I would consider myself not an anime fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I like. It's if I like an anime, it's an anomaly rather than a regularity.
Sure.
So basically, your argument is that when you go to watch, say we just throw a random anime at you, the chances of you liking it is lower than the chances of you liking it.
Yeah, and the chances of me being interested to try it in the first place are probably really low.
That's fair.
And like, I'm not trying to be unfair about it.
I think that's a fair way of looking at it. If you're a fan or not, is that if you were just to throw an anime at you, typically would you lean towards yes?
Yeah,
or no?
I've never chosen on my own to watch an anime.
Right.
Not to sound like people have ever forced it on me, because I'm grateful to have watched some of them, but I never actually choose to watch one on my own.
So like a funny comparison I just thought of is like, for instance, we brought into Alex to watch the Super Bowl with us that one time. He's not really a sports fan, but he enjoyed that game with the Patriots. Yeah,
even though I love football a lot.
Yeah, so like, you're a sports fan, but he's not really a sports fan.
No.
But he enjoyed that game and appreciated it and loved that one game.
Yeah.
Would he go out and watch the whole season?
You wouldn't go out of your way to watch.
I wouldn't go to my way to watch anime. No, the animes that I do like is because other people have been like, you need to watch this. And I'll be like, okay.
And like,
and normally I've watched them with them. Like, actually, we still haven't finished Death Note, to be honest with you.
So I think I have a better idea what your stance is there, and that's fair. I respect that.
Yeah.
So I guess to really pursue that, like, what in the animes that you do like, there were some aspects of it that really interested you. For example, taking Death Note again, there was a lot that I assume you're a fan of, that like a huge cat and mouse game, that intrigue, that storytelling.
I'm like, what I like about Death Note is kind of like, I like how dark it is. And I like
animation's always considered to be more of a children's thing in America, where in Japan it's an all ages thing. You know.
Yeah. I like that. I think that Death Note has a tastefulness about how dark it is. It's not like dark for dark's sake, and it's not overly morbid.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I mean, unless you're watching the American live action movie of it, and it's just disgraceful.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. Is like, I felt like that was pulling notes from Final Destination.
Yeah,
where
it
the
was,
whole purpose
totally.
of the movie is just so you see gore, basically. And that's not what Death Note's about. It's
No.
not about gore. It's about the story of two masterminds and their definition of justice.
Yeah,
You know.
and there were certain characters that I liked in Death Note, like L. I love L. Like, if I want to get like one of these guys of a character,
A pop
then
figure.
I want an L pop figure so bad.
They exist.
I'm a pop
It has
figure.
to,
I know it
right?
does. Yeah,
They have pop figures of everything.
Yeah, but I have this policy where I don't ever buy my own pop figures. I like to. It's like a
They're
collection
easy
thing.
gifts.
It's more fun when there's a story behind how you got it or
Figures
who
do
gave it
make
to you.
good gifts.
So, but anyway, yeah. So that's what it is with Death Note. With Ruby, it's honestly the weapons and how everybody has a theme. That's just something
I
I'm
love
interested in, no
thematic
matter what it
things.
is. I love themes for people. Like every character in Ruby, their personality shows through what they're wearing. Like so, like or just how they look or how like what weapons they have. That's super interesting to me, no matter what it is. So like, honestly, I love like that's one of the things I loved about Power Rangers growing up, or anything like that, where there was colors and there was like a character or an animal associated with something.
Do you think that has to do a lot with your superhero comic?
Probably.
roots?
Probably.
And to really argue that point, I think you saying you're not an anime fan isn't that. It's just like when you boil down, because like I said, anime is such an art form nowadays that you can boil it down to just simple things like what you said. You liked themes, you liked very purposed characters, you liked the thematic things,
Yeah.
you like good character development, you like a plot line. Well, is that not just a universal trope within all media?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so the only
Yeah.
thing that's different from anime is just like, well, it's the art style, which we both are not qualified to talk about.
Mhm.
So for the purpose of this argument, I'm not going to talk about, because I'm not an artist. And then the other thing is just like point of origin.
Yeah.
Which in our case, it really doesn't matter. Like animation made in Japan or
that'd
America.
that'd be a genetic fallacy.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just animation. In fact, in Japan, they call anything that's animation anime.
Yeah.
So that goes into more philosophical etymology, which again I'm not qualified to talk about.
No.
So let's ignore those points. So for you, I guess you just like specific, just aspects of the media. So like
Yeah.
thematic characters,
Mhm.
which you brought up with Power Rangers stuff like that,
Yep.
which is based on Super Sentai, which is point of origin being Japan.
Yeah.
So I would say, you probably won't, but I would say watch Madoka Magica.
No,
What's
I
that?
also recommend
What is
it.
that?
So, without spoilers, it's the whole.
It's a magical girl anime.
It's a magical anime.
Yeah.
And
So take
I may
Power-
not like it for other reasons then.
No, I honestly I would suggest it within the
Yeah.
anime community. It's one of those animes like
Because
watch it. Yeah.
I'll try to not talk about it too much, but it tries to challenge the definition of your traditional magical girl anime. And as someone who doesn't enjoy that genre, I live by this anime. It is
What's it
so
called?
good. Madoka Magica.
One of you guys just send me a link later.
It's an
Okay.
easy binge. There's a season and a few movies, I believe.
Yeah, just it's like 12 episodes. Just watch it. Yeah.
And if you liked the story-driven things, this is a very story-driven anime,
Okay.
And character, because each of them has their own color,
Yeah.
theme,
Yeah.
and personality, which shows
very true.
Which shows in their outfits.
And I will say that Madoka Magica is the one that really started the 3-episode theorem.
Yeah, the Madoka rule.
Yeah.
Where it's almost infamous in the anime community, where like whenever you watch a new series, you give, if it's episodic, you give it 3 episodes, and if you like it, you stick with it. If you don't, drop it.
Yeah.
It's the 3-episode rule, but we call it the Madoka rule.
Another thing about animes that I've never been like
A huge fan of.
a huge fan of.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to seem like I'm not saying this in a bad way or like being stereotypical or whatever, but it just seems like an anime for me, more often than not, the plot or the lore is very complicated. Or it seems to be overly complicated, at least looking at it from the outside.
That's fair, but that's one of the things I enjoy about it. I like
Okay.
thought-provoking.
See, I like a
anime.
little bit, like, it needs to be deep enough so that you can have fun with it, but I like things to be more have a more methodology to them.
Explain that a little bit better.
Like the whole thing with like the colors and the themes and stuff, that's a little easier to follow, but you can do so much with it.
Listen, I like colors. They're easy.
and stuff.
You're like the
yeah,
ones who like,
shapes.
I like pictures and books.
Yeah. No, I guess the only way to really explain that is,
You like things to have a certain depth, but not be complicated for the sake of being
Exactly.
complicated.
So like take
That's
like
fair.
the Lord of the Rings universe. That's really easy to follow, and like there's-
arguable.
I was like,
Well, okay. So maybe for that case, it might just be my
Star
time
Wars would be
spent with
more
it.
easy to follow. But
No, Star Wars has gotten complicated.
okay,
Arguable.
well, throw it out that.
So I think your bias is showing. So yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to
For
deny
you,
it.
for you said Lord of the Rings easy. For me, I'm like, well, I haven't read the Silmarillion, so that's out of my
Yeah, I've read the Silmarillion.
When,
Yeah.
when
Okay.
an own movie has their own language, that's when
Yeah,
you start to
but
lose me about how
let me-
simple it is.
To be totally fair, though, there is no such thing as an unbiased person. So
No.
we just have to get that out of the way.
But like
Yeah.
that's what I said. Like the point you're trying to make. Well, I do see what it is, and I
Yeah.
agree that it is a point.
Yep.
It's not fair to really make those blanket statements because again, anime is so large nowadays where
Oh, yeah.
you can't just shoehorn it into like, oh, all anime has complicated story. Like, well, have you seen One Punch Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a bald dude punching things one
Which
time.
that's
and they
not one
die.
that I've seen either. Okay.
No recommendation.
You might like
No
that.
recommendation
No,
there?
that is a recommendation.
Oh, another one. Okay.
You would like that just because it challenges the typical tropes of superheroes media.
See, and you guys
which we
also,
talked about last time.
You guys also told me I'd like My Hero Academia because I like superheroes.
Yes.
But so,
That is a combination, in my opinion, of like an X-Men and like if X-Men was an anime almost. It's
Mhm.
not quite the same because we talked about the differences of how their powers aren't like mutations. There's
Yeah.
some ones that are mutation based, but and more often than not, they're kind of like mystical power, just
yeah.
abilities that they have.
So
You know.
I'm not trying to stroke with a broad brush, and I'm not like trying to be unfair because I don't want to hate on anime.
Yeah, so
Like,
yeah, this isn't you hating on anime.
No, it's not me hating on anime. I feel like I have a good reason why I don't, and I don't know. Like, it really just boils down to I'm on Netflix and I never choose to watch an anime. I don't know. This is also. Do you want to know what I do watch though for TV shows?
What?
I'm a sitcom guy. What does that say about me? I love sitcoms. Yeah, so you can say that if you want.
No,
but-
no, I love Friends. I love How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I just finished Friends. That was so emotional for
Oh,
me.
same. Yeah.
Man, Friends, The Office, that '70s show. Those are
I-
like
I
probably my
do-
top 3 favorite shows.
I do
ever.
love me some Office and Parks and Rec.
I still haven't finished Parks and Rec. I need to. Yeah, Parks and Rec is rough because
So,
it's like
would you watch an anime version of a sitcom?
probably that
Has to exist.
Those exist.
Yeah, I probably would.
What's your top picks regarding that?
Like anime sitcoms or just anime in general?
Anime sitcoms.
Anime sitcom. So the closest thing I can think of that is the slice of life genre. So when you
Yeah.
think about what you like a sitcom, it's just a group of close friends going about their day having crazy shenanigans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
like there's really no like there are times there's like a part 1 and part 2, maybe part 3 overarching storyline between multiple episodes. But when it comes down to it, it's just as Seinfeld puts it, it's a group of dudes doing nothing.
I'd have to see how much I grew to appreciate it because I do. Another thing is I'm not drawn to animation in general.
Right.
either.
I would say that you also appreciate the character relationships.
Yeah.
And their interactions between characters and characters.
Yeah.
So
And
a
that-
lot of character interactions.
And I love the slice of life genre because that group of friends and camaraderie is something I'll never have. So I really enjoy being able to live through their lives vicariously.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
single tear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm crying on the inside. Trust me.
We're here for you. Colin.
Yeah. So
So, recommendation of a slice of life anime?
slice of life that's like not too anime. It might be like that's coming into my part, but I would have to like think about it because there are a lot of slice of lives that I like have their own unique flair
Okay.
that might be too over the top for you.
Okay.
An example would be Dragon Maid. Because
True.
yeah, literally the premise is like a literal dragon becomes a cute anime girl with a dragon tail and lives with this regular normal Joe Schmo character,
See, that's so
and they have
strange for me.
shenanigans. See, that's strange to you. But conversely,
strange for me.
if someone says, "Oh, it's just a group of high schoolers hanging out and just living their lives," I'll be like, "That sounds boring." Do you like comedy?
Yeah.
No, then I would definitely recommend. I don't know what the long term of it, but we like to call it Nietzsche Bros.
Okay.
Literally a group of high school dudes having just dudes being dudes and having these shenanigans.
Okay.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that Vine, where it's like,
And they were roommates.
no.
Okay.
It's like a father and a son or something like that. They're in a football stadium. It's like, what's better than this? Dudes being dudes. Like guys being guys. Something stupid like that. What could be better than this? Just dudes being dudes, you know?
But that's I mean, I'll definitely give you a recommendation for that. Maybe you'll like it, but that's one of my favorite comedy animes.
And
yeah.
Yeah, so to pair with that recommendation, Madoka Magica and My Hero Academia.
Okay.
So
Or as the cool fans call it, Macadamia.
maybe we'll have
Academia.
maybe we'll have a revisit of this topic. We'll have you watch some of those new recommendations and see
Don't
if it
hold
changes.
your breath, man.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Okay,
Yeah.
so
This is us trying to corrupt Will to the dark side. Dark side being anime.
you mean Wes?
Sorry. Did I say Will?
Yeah.
Wes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm already.
You're on the dark side.
I'm
We probably
crap.
look the same anyway.
Yeah. Wow, you and your racist turn. You're really going.
Well, what do you got for us, Kyle?
Yeah. I mean, I had a point, but then Will decided to attack me as a person. So. Oh no, I'm just kidding. Actually,
Well, then.
my topic actually isn't that exclusive to anime. I just. Since you gave me the label of the anime guru, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm kind of shoehorned to doing this.
Oh
but-
shoot, no.
You have to now.
Yeah.
We'll
Now I
accept
feel
you
guilty.
otherwise.
No, don't feel guilty. Because the topic I do want to talk about, I will talk about at the second half. I do want to continue more of a continuation on Wes's point. So, to really harken back to what I talked about earlier, saying how anime is so large, I want to ask each of you guys, when you watch anime, like those blanket statements that I just hate making those, and it's really hard to make a good arguable point about them because, you know, while the blank statements are typically bad, you can also say that, well, the exception doesn't prove the rule. So I typically like to talk about that. But what I want to talk about is, when you do watch anime, what does anime do, that art form, that media type, what does it do that only can be done in anime? And Will kind of harkened back to it, kind of alluded to it, I should say, saying where when you make a live action version of an anime, it's difficult to do well because what anime does great is that, you know, it has that over exaggeration of expressions, which is a trope. It's called like the manga and anime fame.
It is a very common form of comedy. If you were to break down comedy, is an over exaggeration of a certain situation
Of a certain
to make
aspect,
it funny.
yeah, exactly. And that's anime does that. Anime and manga, by extension, does that well, where they're able to really draw and animate those over exaggerated reactions. A typical one is like when a character's angry in real life, they have to really emote it, be the tone of voice, dialogue, or even their facial expression. But in anime, you just draw on the back of the head these 4 right angles colored red on the back of their head, which represents a pulsating vein, meaning you're angry. You just draw those 4 right angles and you're good to go. They're angry. We as an audience know that. You can't really do that in real life. You can't just, hold on, let me draw in permanent mark on your face these 4 right
makeup.
angles.
That way we know you're angry.
Yeah, see, that's an aspect of anime that anime can only do exclusively, and it would make sense in that media type. So, Will, what do you think anime does exclusively that only anime can do?
Well, something you alluded to with the Dragon Maids is that I like seeing plot lines, and this is what intrigued me so much about Death Note. I like to see plot lines that we just really don't see here in America. Like, anime is way more gutsy with ideas. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Sometimes there's some really just very questionable stories out there. I'm not ignoring those, don't worry.
I think what Will's trying to say is like, oh, Japan.
Yeah, Japan. However, the good side of that is we get some crazy stories that you would like. Basically, anime brings you a lot of stuff that you didn't know you needed, but you did.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I feel like they succeed way more times than they fail. More often than not, these crazy stories end up working in their own charming way rather than just falling like, wow, that's just too far out, you know. Anime challenges constantly typical tropes, even within their own, of these new storylines that we see, and even tropes that we have in America. Like the whole thing with One Punch Man, you know, superhero culture is very popular in America, and that literally challenges the definition of what makes a superhero and what's popular with that.
Yep. Again, to the really shout out to our previous segment where we talked about One Punch Man, how while it's where we're arguing of what makes something a parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really, really like how they break expectations when it comes to story and do all these stories that, if you couldn't tell, I'm in it for the story. That's my main attraction to anime. I do really appreciate things like the animations, like you mentioned, with like the emotions and how they can really do things that you can't do in live action or other formats typically. But for me, the standout for me is the stories. That's the most different from other media formats that we just don't see anywhere else, you know?
So I guess to really reiterate your point is like Will likes the fact that anime can make these crazy, outrageous storylines that you can't really do, at least do well effectively in
other
real
mediums,
life.
yeah.
I respect that. I actually agree with that. Yeah, classic Japan. I mean, and Wes, it's gonna be a hard question to you because again, your exposure to anime isn't that lot. But like in the ones you have seen, what's something that it has done that you haven't seen in any other media? And you can say no, like, oh, I've seen this in other media.
Well, because the only one that I can actually think of is that like emotiveness you talked about.
Sure, yeah.
But it's not something I appreciate.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's all I can think of.
That's fair. No, hey,
Yeah.
that's
Because you've
fine.
seen like 4 or 5 anime, so it's hard.
Because like I said, the animes that I do like, I don't think like I liked them for. I don't think I liked them necessarily for what was unique about them.
No,
in an anime.
and that's probably given to your lack of exposure to anime, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect to give.
I am jealous of the creativity that Japan culture has over America because I feel like we are so predictable.
That's true. Our cartoons are very predictable.
Yeah, just through and through, and how we have a stigma that cartoons are only for children, and then like Japan's just like laughing on us.
You
like,
can only
what?
draw stuff for kids.
See, and while that used to be a stigma, I think we're slowly breaking away from that.
Because anime is becoming very mainstream in America.
It has been.
And then like, well, my favorite American animation is Rick and Morty.
It's true. And that's a very adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's America's best example of breaking that stigma. But even then, you're missing a whole. I think probably the majority of anime, which is in the middle there, with mature themes but not adult themes.
Another one would be Final Space. Which is not. I would. It's a mature animation, but it's not inappropriate in any way.
Yeah, it's just it's got
really.
more intense themes.
Yeah, because it's
a little
Olin
more
Rogers.
graphic.
He's not going to make something like that anyway.
And again, that just goes back to what we were saying earlier, where animation in itself, not just anime exclusive, is becoming such a huge media where you can't shoehorn into one genre.
And I feel like America, America is like so fascinating with anime because they do so many things that we wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And I just think, to me, it's crazy. Like, growing up in Japan, this is more normal to you. For us, this is extra crazy. Like, there may be some animes that even, like, Japan's like, oh, that's new and that's crazy. But to us, everything's crazy. Like, what?
Yeah,
all crazy.
I'm going to give a short excerpt of a con I went to. It was a small con in Maine. I think it's called Animane.
We talked about it on our last episode of Causecast.
What, Animane?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about PortCon.
No, I'm talking about Animane. This is, like, the first year of Animane.
My bad.
Yeah.
Anime.
Anyway, yeah.
Failed plug.
It's just anime con I went to, and they actually managed to get, I want to say, the president of Sentai Filmworks as a guest there, and he was great because I asked him, because like I'm so ignorant in the ways of Japan, its culture, language, and whatever that's Japan. I'm a bad weeb, I guess. Anyway,
bad weeb.
Yeah, because I don't want to be ignorant. But I asked him, like, because he was, not to really ages, but he was in the industry since its inception. Like, he was there when anime was on like VHS. So when he was the guy,
like back in the 50s, right?
Yeah, he was the guy that would call his friend in Japan, saying, "Hey, can you send me like these anime on VHS, and I will edit them and show them in America." And then he was telling me a story. I asked him, like, "What's Japan's take on us, taking what they made, putting it in our language, and then rebroadcasting it?" And then when he said, like, "Yeah," they were like, "You want our stuff? Why?" And they were like, "Yeah, take it, please take it." It's a misconception where like Japan isn't like hoarding their media. They're just like, wait, you want to see our stuff?
Because it's such Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so different for us. I mean, talk about literally being on the other end of the world.
Yeah, but like that's a misconception where like Japan isn't trying to hoard all their stuff. They want to give it to us. They want to just like, hey, please take it.
But nobody has said yes.
Yeah.
And America is saying yes louder than anyone has ever before. You know.
And big senpai of mine is Charles Dunbar. He talks about how
senpai.
Yeah,
notice me.
Yeah, he has noticed me. We text all the time. Someone that I look forward to. He's the guy who really got me into doing panels and talking about weeb stuff. He talks about Japan and America is just a one giant ping pong match where we throw something towards them, they take it, evolve it, throw it back to us. We like it, we steal it, we evolve it, and it's going back and forth.
Because as far as live action is concerned, America steals from Britain all the time. Game shows, sitcoms,
British comedy has changed the way that America does their comedy. Like The Dry, The Office is a great example of it.
The Office, one of our most beloved shows, is from Britain.
It's originally, and they didn't change the humor. They kept it dry and like.
Fun fact: if you didn't even know that the British Office exists, look at just watch the first episode.
It's exactly the same.
It's the same pilot, and it's so bizarre watching the same episode and plot line to almost the same.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean the set, like the sets look different, and obviously the people look different.
And there's
but
different
it's
actors.
the same story, and they're doing the same things. In the first episode.
And it's so weird rewatching that first iconic episode in a different setting, but
Yeah.
not change. It's weird.
It's actually worth watching.
Yeah.
Usually when a show spawns off another one and becomes more popular, that other one probably wasn't.
we see that a lot with music.
Yeah, but this one is like
Yeah.
the original Office.
Yeah, but that
anyway.
ping pong match is exactly what I'm talking about. Where
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
And occasionally we have something like Ruby, which is wildly popular in Japan.
Ruby is really popular in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
They love it.
Super popular.
Huh, that's cool.
So if you went to a panel, Wes, you would know this.
You know.
I wish I was.
But-
When I heard you did panels, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
Kyle's panels. That's cool."
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but if you went to my panel, I did talk about that. How Andrea went to Japan just a year ago, and when she was there, she saw so much Ruby merch that's exclusive to Japan that we don't even have. And this not only was it merch like cosplay T-shirts and official manga. Not only were they there, but they were in Akihabara. What Akihabara is, and you'll know this as you get exposed to anime, is it is the epitome of everything and everything that is anime in Japan. It is an area in Japan where you just go to, and everywhere you see is just anime.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's huge because you talked about Avatar. It's almost anime inspired. It's funny because Japan actually prefers Ruby over Avatar. They actually didn't like Avatar.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but they love Ruby.
Yeah.
So it's huge over there.
And they're starting to catch up. I feel like the rate, because it took them a while to get the first season, and then the second season followed more closely.
It's 'cause,
I feel like they're bridging that gap more and more every year about how caught up they are. I think, are they on season 4 now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, 'cause-
it's because they got the official voice actors to actually do them. So,
Yeah, and see this is how much
Wait,
they've
to do it in.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so this is how much that they embraced it. They have A-lister voice actors who do their beloved animes to do the voices for Ruby.
Oh wait, I thought you were saying the original American voice actors.
No.
Do it, and I'm like, that's dedication.
That would be
Rooster
cool,
Teeth.
but
I would love to hear Barb speak Japanese.
Yeah. No, so wait, they have like their A-lister voices
Yes.
doing. Wow.
So that's
Okay.
that's
cool.
equivalent of.
and they're
yeah.
excited to do it too.
So,
when
like-
these voice actors talk about it, they're like, "I get to be such and such character."
comparatively, their Ruby is like, it's more popular over there than it is over here. Then it's got to be.
One could argue. Yeah.
If they're using their best voice actors for Ruby,
They're embracing it more than we are.
Because Ruby is still from a lesser known company. It's not like that's like. Yeah, that's like A-list actors like Tom Cruise doing Ruby voices, isn't it? Okay, yeah, so that's crazy.
that's like our Matt Mercer essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty big over there.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And I know I honestly love that.
Yeah.
It's like that's again that ping pong match. I love that.
I don't think there's any better way to express how they're embracing it by literally their beloved celebrities wanting to take part in this. This is something that they've dumped a lot of money. Like, these are people that wanted to be a part of this. You know?
Yep. And I think it's because Ruby's so different from what they're normally used to. Like, what do you mean I get to voice someone who isn't the epitome of a dark hole and is dense AF? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's similar but different enough for them to take interest, and I do appreciate that.
Can you find episodes of the
Oh, yeah.
Japanese version?
It's in my panel.
Because I might just go look at one and see how
Yeah,
it is.
it's on YouTube. Like, I have a clip of it in my panel where I show 20-second clip of Nora saying I'm queen of the castle in Japanese and is the best line ever, because it's perfect. They do a great job.
That's awesome.
They really do a great job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Merging cultures is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But God, I forgot what my point was.
It's kind of like part
Talking
2 of
about-
mine.
Talking about
What anime did differently that
Yes.
only
Okay.
anime and Wesley. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yep.
So that was my point. And let's transition to my next point, where it's not anime, almost flip flop my previous point, where it's not exclusive to anime, but it is a trope that it's in all media and that we all love. At least I assume we all love, and that is the trope of the zero to hero story, almost like the underdog story.
Yeah.
Everyone loves an underdog story, and if you don't, then you're missing out on a lot of good media.
Then you're wrong.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong, it's you're missing out on a lot.
yeah,
So,
egg on your face.
yeah, egg on your face. So in anime, that zero to hero story is prevalent in so many series. Top of my head is Macadamia with main character Deku.
That's actually the first one that popped into my head. Too.
Yeah, that's the hot thing nowadays. That's the one that's easy and most relevant.
I'm gonna say irrelevant.
Yeah.
no?
Then we were talking about Ruby earlier. Another common zero to hero story would be Jean Arc from Ruby, and the reason why I talk about this is because I want to bounce this idea off you guys, because this is actually my next big Ruby panel, is comparing Midoriya, Deku, to Jean Arc, and how they are still in that journey to become that hero. Where even in the opening 20 seconds of Macadamia, you can hear Deku saying, "This is the story of how I became, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air." No,
I was gonna say this is the story of a girl.
No, this is the story of how I became the best and strongest hero.
Wait, Deku says that?
Deku says that in the first 20 seconds.
So at the beginning, he becomes this awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Have you seen that yet, or is it like building up to that?
We're building up to that still.
Oh, okay.
I think they just confirmed.
You seriously just need to watch this show. This is the
Is
most
it? What
viewed show that anime has put out.
Really? Okay, maybe I'll give it. Where can you watch it?
Crunchyroll.
But it's also on Hulu.
Okay, I was like, is Crunchyroll not free?
It's free, but you just have to watch ads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch it on Hulu. Trust me, you'll fall in love with it almost immediately.
If you prefer the English language, they also have it dubbed.
Okay, is it good dubbed?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I do prefer dubbed.
And this is one of the most wholesome and just like it's so good by its nature that it doesn't even try that hard. That's the feeling it gives off. Like it's so
arguable,
good.
but yeah,
it's because it's not like it's flashy where it needs to be with the fact that these are superheroes, obviously. But I feel like it's not trying that hard. I feel like it's just naturally that good, and it just feels so genuinely good.
We recommend it. In other words,
okay,
we definitely recommend it. And the English dub is good, so you can also watch it dubbed.
I'll try Macadamia.
Thank you for adopting that.
I will. It's so much easier.
It's so much easier.
My Hero Academia is such a mouthful.
Or as other people will call it, like Boku no Hero Academia. It's
Weebs.
Like, why?
Macadamia.
Why is it called Boku?
Well,
That's the original Japanese
Boku no
character.
Hero.
Boku no Hero Academia. But Macadamia is superior.
Macadamia.
Yep.
Nuts.
Yep.
That was super weird though. One time I was Lyft driving a while back, and there were some exchange students from Japan, and we were talking about anime in this car ride, which was amazing. But we had a hard time talking about which shows we both liked because they have different names.
Oh.
So they're trying to figure out, shoot, what would this anime be called? Because they could speak English, but they're trying to figure out what the anime would be called
That's actually
in English.
I want to send a copy. That sounds awesome.
It was such a
Culture shock there,
half of our conversation was trying to figure out what animes we were talking about.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
How did you end up bridging the gap? Like, did you start describing characters to each other because they look the same?
Yeah, no, we had to describe plots and stuff like that.
I hope you didn't open with it starts at a high school
because it's like a bunch of them.
All anime.
I think I brought up Death Note, and that one was pretty easy to get across. But there were some ones that were harder. It took a while to get your name out there. I remember that one was a hard one too.
I love that. Remember I cried at the.
We all cried.
Dude, and you say you're not an anime fan.
So that's another example. Your Name was so good. That's probably the best movie I'd watched in a long time. Period.
Wes, if you like Your Name, I'll give you the director's name. All of his works are as good.
Like,
and
really?
And
definitely.
You own it, right?
I do own it.
Yeah.
I have the collector's edition.
It's true.
Sit in my car as it boils. Anyway, to get back on point, that zero to hero story isn't exclusively anime, but is a trope that we all is well beloved, well known, and well liked.
Yeah.
So I gave anime examples. So what are examples of underdog / zero to hero stories of other media that you two are like, wow, this is really good?
Well, easy one for you should be How to Train Your Dragon.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm looking around our set trying to think of one for me. Well, Star Wars. Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's got to be the quintessential
That
example
is.
for
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker to Yoda, that Kohai Senpai teacher-student interaction.
Yeah.
Scene in Macadamia.
Star Wars is very anime when you think of it.
Oh, there's a Star Wars anime.
And when you think about
Isn't it pretty good though?
And when you think about it, Star
I like
Wars introduced something crazy that was never people didn't understand what Star Wars was until it was a thing. Like that
The whole space opera genre, it wasn't really
So that's the most anime thing we've ever done. So, good job in America being creative for once.
Yeah, I mean the whole ping pong match. But sorry, Wes, you said you wanted Star Wars to be your example, yeah. But that's also seen in Macadamia between Deku and that jetpack guy. What's his name?
Jetpack guy.
The old guy who's really fast and jumps around a lot.
Who's got the grenade
Gran
arms.
Torino.
Gran Torino, yeah. But that's the whole teacher-student trope. That's part of the Zero to Hero. But that's it.
Almost all of our Alien movies are Zero to Heroes, where we have like an insurmountable tasks that we have to overcome, and not necessarily as a person, but as a race,
Yeah.
we have to overcome.
I haven't seen
That's
a lot of them.
that's a common trope, especially with alien-related movies, about basically how there's no way in hell we can defeat these aliens. Or
No
these,
way in space.
no way in space we can defeat them, and then we find some sort of loophole where we do.
Mm-hmm.
So almost in every alien movie, that's a zero to hero story when you think about it.
Yeah. Then again, that's not exclusive to anime.
Would you say that horror movies are a zero to hero anime that we always lose?
Oh, that reminds me. That's another one that I didn't like so much. Was Tokyo Ghoul. Someone tried to introduce me to
That's
Tokyo
a
Ghoul.
horror- horror one.
See,
And I was
that's
like,
that's what you're talking about earlier. Edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'm not really into that either. I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to love that as a high school because we all had that edgy phase.
I was gonna say no offense
But,
because all the people who have recommended Tokyo Ghoul to me are pretty much like leftover scene girls
On the younger side. Yeah. No. That was.
or
Yeah.
like girls who used to be seen.
Yep. Which was back in the day called emo, but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's all those things that make anime. Why I like when anime isn't exclusive to anime. So I'm like you, almost opposite. I'm the yin to your yang almost. Where
Yeah.
I don't go out my way to watch superhero like Marvel DC things.
Mhm.
But if someone says to me, "Oh, it's like macadamia except this," I'm like, "Oh, cool, I'll watch it."
Like you
Yeah.
liked the new Ant-Man a lot.
I did love
Right?
it. Yeah.
So yeah, that is really comparative. You don't go to your way to watch superhero movies, but every once in a while you'll watch one. You'll be like, that was really good. That's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. Yeah, that's
So-
me. That's me with anime.
So
Yeah.
it's like that's why I don't like it's fair saying you don't like anime. I'm saying you don't go out of your way to watch anime.
I wouldn't say I don't like anime either. I would say that I'm not an anime fan
Yeah.
or follower. Like
Yeah.
that would be more accurate.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fusion.
Yeah, I just didn't want to like. I was like, oh, Wes hates anime. I hate you, Kyle. I'm like, what?
No.
Whoa.
No, that wasn't meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just.
I just want to defend my honor here. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since Will gave me the title of anime guru, I want to defend that title.
You are by far the most knowledgeable.
You used a lot of big words too, and I love big words.
Alright.
I like big
That was
words.
a great
and I can't
conversation.
not-
I like that a lot. Awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I
good.
bring my A game, guys.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, that's the episode, folks.
That's it.
Bye bye.
Bye. Stay kind, geeks.
Hey.